Welcome back to episode 6 of the Lift Heavy Run Fast podcast. I'm your host, Hybrid Coach Mike, and today we're going to be talking strength standards for hybrid athletes, or today we're going to be talking strength standards for hybrid athletes or standards for lifters also wanting to run. So a little bit of mixture in terms of standards that I think and some averages that I've kind of extrapolated with my clients and looked online of what other people can do. There's some absolutely phenomenal hybrid athletes out there. Some people are absolutely amazing at lifting but not so good at running. Some are absolutely insane at cardio based workouts but not that strong. So I'll give you some context kind of what I've seen and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure, and this is a little bit of a digression, that there's like a world record for a dude deadlifting 220 kilos and then immediately going into a mile run, I think it is. And he does that mile run, which is 1.6 or 1.8 kilometers in, I'm pretty sure, like less than 5 minutes or less than 5.5 minutes, which is like 250 pace or something crazy. So like something like that is insane. Although in my opinion, a 220 deadlift is not that impressive. So needless to say, the run is absolutely phenomenal and the lift is phenomenal if you pair the two of them together. So that's what I'm going to talk about now. When it comes to hybrid training, right, you're never going to be the best powerlifter or the best strength athlete in the world, and you're probably not going to be the best runner in the world. Like for anyone that listens to this that is purely a runner and extremely good at running, you're going to hear 3:30 4 minute pace as whatever. That's probably like easy for you. But then a powerlifter hearing someone deadlift 220 or whatever, you're probably like, oh, that's nothing. But then a runner hearing someone deadlift 220 might sound like a lot, and then a lifter trying to run hears someone who can sub 4 minute pace, and that sounds crazy. Let's get into this a little bit. I think there's some key lifts and benchmarks for hybrid athletes that I think they should have. I reckon as well that, just for anyone wondering, if you do high rocks is not, the term high rocks means hybrid rock star. In my opinion, high rocks is actually not hybrid. And the reason why is because the strength components in hybrid are really not, in high rocks, sorry, are not that hard. I think the pros, I might need to research this. I think they have 26 kilo kettlebells, 32 kilo farmers, 153 kilos sled pull, 202 kilos sled push, sandbag lunge with 30 kilos. Like, with all due respect, I lunge with 30 kilos in one hand. The last time I did a lunge was with 95 kilos on my back. I think I've lunged 110. So, not saying that I am better than anyone that does high rocks, by the way. I have a lot of respect for them, although I'm not interested in high rocks personally. I just find high rocks is probably not really hybrid, just because I feel like the numbers they're doing in terms of the weight sections of their sport aren't actually that heavy. A 202 kilo sled push, if that's what they do, is respectable. And yes, I have no doubt it is extremely hard. But 153 kilo sled pull, I don't know. Like, I get it. It's going to be extremely hard, but I wouldn't say it's strong. Like, I definitely understand how hard that would be when it's backed up against multiple events. But I just don't think you need to be that strong to do high rocks, even in the pro division. You need to have some strength. But I digress a little bit. No disrespect to any high rocks guys out there. That's just my opinion. I have never done high rocks, so my opinion, frankly, counts for nothing anyway. I'm just a coach that has helped a few high rocks guys get faster, but I always tell my high rocks athletes, I am not a high rocks specific coach. If they ever want to work with someone that is, please go ahead and do that. Although I don't think there's that many great high rock specific coaches that offer coaching that is really that in detail. Or I don't feel like high rocks coaching really needs to be that complicated anyway. I'm digressing. Just to then say, I actually think CrossFit is more hybrid than anything, because some of those CrossFitters are snatching, especially in the elite level CrossFitters, stupid weights, like 15, 20, 30 kilos off world records. Like they're doing this in succession of, I don't know, like they've got to do 10 snatches in a row. I think CrossFit is absolutely phenomenal, and those guys are so fit as well. So a lot of respect for CrossFitters. Again, I'm not a sport I'm overly interested in, but I've got a lot of respect for them. Got a lot of respect for High Rocks guys. Although I don't think High Rocks, although hybrid is in the name, is actually that much of hybrid. It's more just cardio mixed in with some lightweights. Anyway, hybrid benchmarks. Okay, so I'm going to look at like some benchmarks that I think are a good way or a good aim to shoot or a good place to shoot for if you're someone getting into hybrid training. So I'm going to talk specifically about lifting, particularly squat, bench, deadlift, maybe overhead press as well. And then, running. If you're someone that is completely new to both, what to aim for. I understand that these numbers, if you're an elite level of any one of those two sports, may not be that big a deal to you. Okay, but for people that are new to it or people that just need a goal to kind of aim for, I think this is a good way to go. I think, okay, you should definitely, and obviously it's going to be a little bit different for male and female. Males should be able to bench press 1.5 times their body weight. Females, if you can bench press your body weight or, 0.8 times your body weight, that's excellent. Squat, definitely want to squat close to 2 times your body weight, both for male and females. I think that's definitely doable. Deadlift, I'll also say 2.5 times your body weight is good. If you want to be really good, you're looking at 3 times your body weight. If you want to be a really good squatter, 2.5 times your body weight. If you want to be a really good bench presser, double your body weight. Like when I say really good, you're looking at like you're going to be considered quite elite by doing those things. For reference, I was 93 kilos or 94 kilos when I did this. I think my best bench was 152 in competition, and that's with a pause. And I was 93. I competed in the under 93s at this time, so I was about 92 kilos when I did that. Is that 1.5? Yeah, so that's just over 1.5 times my body weight. Although in powerlifting world, when I was just a powerlifter, that's actually not a very good bench press at all for someone in the under 93s. There's dudes in the under 93s in powerlifting doing, like if we're looking at the best, like 180 plus. If we're looking at like world level, like some of them I'm pretty sure are doing close to 200, which is just crazy. So that's like 2.5 times it, like just crazy shit. Squat, I think my best is 240, 235, 235 kilos. Yeah, best is 235 or 240, I don't remember. And for me, that's 2 point something times my body weight, 2.3 or 2.2 times my body weight. My body weight again being about 94 at the time. Deadlift, I've done 300 and I did that at 94 kilos was my lightest. And that is 3 point something times my body weight. And that would be considered quite a good deadlift in the powerlifting world. In terms of running, okay, if you're just some goals to kind of aim for, again, these are depending on what level you want to aim for. If you just want to be generally fit, just be generally fit, okay? But if you just want a marker or target to work towards, these are some things you kind of aim for. I think the first thing you want to aim for in the running world is, a sub 40-minute 5K if you're completely new to running, which is about 7 or 8 minute pace, which is doable for most people. Yeah, sorry, a sub 35-minute 5K is a good place to start. Then you want to go for a sub 30-minute 5K, which will be about 6-minute pace. Do you want to get 25 minutes 5K? That's 5-minute pace. Then if you want to get a sub or a 20-minute 5K, you're looking at 4-minute pace. And if you want to get a sub 20-minute 5K, that is going to be considered quite elite. You're looking at 350 or whatever pace or below that. If you can lift the numbers that I mentioned before and then run anything below sub 25-minute, 20-minute 5K, you'd be considered like an elite hybrid in my opinion. Like that's phenomenal. There's a couple hybrids I'm pretty sure that are super strong and can do a 5K in like 17 and a half, I think is the best I've seen, or 17 minutes 50, which is crazy, which is like 3-minute 40 pace. And again, for like elite runners, they're like, oh, whatever, like, that's training. But we're not looking at elite runners. We're looking at people that are both strong and fit. So, I think this guy weighs around 90 something kilos. I don't know his name. Anyway, I'll find out. My best 5K, it was 19 minutes. I should check, 19 minutes 18 seconds or something like that. And that was in a race. I think the pace was around the 350 mark. It was very hard. It was not easy for me whatsoever to do that. In fact, it was in an 11 or 12K race. And as soon as I hit that 5K kind of PB, everything started to taper off a lot after that. I got dramatically slower from then on. I ended up doing 10Ks in like 40 minutes and 50 seconds after that. So I really redlined in the first 5Ks and then it dropped off quite a lot. I have a race, which is a 10K race. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, I would have had the race, already. But I'll update you guys on how the results go in my next video. I record these videos a couple of weeks in advance. So anyway, those are some good benchmarks. And then also in terms of the running, running a half marathon is a great achievement, and that doesn't matter. But if you run a half marathon in under 2 hours, that's awesome. Then you want to look at trying to get it in under an hour 50, hour 40. I think anything under an hour and a half is, as a hybrid, is in my opinion considered excellent. Anything close to an hour 20 is elite. My best is exactly 90 minutes for a half marathon. I'm aiming for that hour 20-ish mark next year. If you want to go even further and then look at like the marathon, under 4 hours is excellent. Even under 5 hours, 4.5 hours, if you're new to it, is great. First of all, actually, I take that back. If you are new to running, completing a marathon is a awesome achievement. Okay, so who gives a shit? This is another thing I'm going to say, sorry. If you are new to running and you're going into your first race, do not worry about what time you get. Like, have a rough idea, but don't get worked up on it. Just enjoy it. If it's your first race, if it's your first lifting competition as well, just enjoy it. Go in, try to get a PB, but also just appreciate the fact that you're doing something new. You've never done it before. You're in competition for the first time. It's all new to you. You might not get the result you want on the day, and it's very likely that you won't because it's a completely different environment to training. Just enjoy the process of being there. Okay, you don't need to get so worked up and hung up on getting a PB. Anyway, if you want to do a marathon, like under 4 hours is good. Under 3:30 is great. Under 3 hours is unreal. And then anything below 2:45 is, in my opinion, as a hybrid, again, sensational stuff. Like really remarkable. Now, how strength can help your running performance. Honestly, I think getting better at running, if your goal is to be a better runner, should be your number one priority. And then, you do your strength stuff ancillary to that to support that. And the way it would work around that or support that is by improving your leg strength, improving your work capacity. Your legs will be able to handle more work and they might be able to recover faster, usually after hard runs. You might find things like hills and all that a little bit easier as well because you've got a bit more leg strength. And also looking jacked while being able to run fast is also a fucking win, in my opinion. On the reverse, how would running or improving your cardiovascular capacity support your lifting? Reduced rest times, reduced recovery capacity in the gyms. You'll be able to get more work done faster. Your body warms up quicker, so you'll be able to hit those heavy lifts faster. I find just recovery capacity greatly improves. Although you may feel a little bit weaker in the beginning of your hybrid journey, you will eventually get stronger and you'll actually be able to handle more work in the gym because of it. And I think that you will eventually pick up quite a bit of strength if you stick with it enough and you continue to both push your running and lifting. You should get to a point where the running and lifting don't really impact each other whatsoever. Now, there are points in time when I think, pushing both training modalities or when chasing PRs in both running and lifting can be counterproductive. And these are both, I think there's some times where it can be counterproductive, okay? I'm going to say this, like when you're training for a race or competition, focus on whatever race or competition you have coming up. I think I may have said this in previous podcasts. If you're training for a race, focus on getting better at that race. If you're training for a lifting competition, focus on doing your best at that lifting competition. Understand that you may not be able to perform at your absolute best if you're trying to push your running at the same time, or if you're trying to push your lifting at the same time as you're trying to get a running PB, okay? In the beginning, you're probably going to be able to PB at both, but there's going to be a time and place where you're going to have to maybe put more eggs in one basket than the other, okay? Then, in addition to that, I think there's also other instances where, like, if you're someone who doesn't train hybrid, or you're not a coach, or you're not an online influencer or whatever, and this isn't your job, and hybrid training comes at the cost of your social life, at the cost of, your ability to get things done for your family and friends, I think that's when it can be a little bit counterproductive. And I'll just give you my own personal experience. So when I trained mind you, I'm a coach, and I would say I'm an athlete. for the most part. I definitely train like one. I live like one for the most part. But I don't do this all year round either. But when I trained for a marathon previously, this keeps going out of focus. Hopefully it doesn't go out of focus anymore. When I've trained for a marathon previously, my marathon training was very challenging for me. It was my first marathon. I was doing long runs for hours every Sunday, smashing myself during the week, doing other runs, trying to get ready for this race. It was extremely taxing on my body. It was extremely fatiguing. It actually impacted my work. I was always tired. And then I was always tired at home. It impacted my life with my partner. Fortunately, I don't have any kids at the moment or anything like that. And I would say, I imagine being a parent. I don't know how parents do it. Like, it would, if it can, and it does impact other aspects of your life in a negative way, and your ability to be a good human being for your family and those around you, I would say it is counterproductive. Now, if it's just for a short time, like my marathon was, I only trained for that one marathon. Yeah, all good. Like everything's fine. But I remember how fatigued I would be coming home after, my long run, or, after a hard training week, people asking me to hang out, my friends, my partner asking me to hang out, and just being like, no. And then, you do that enough times, you start to be a pretty shit person. So anyway, I'm not trying to get all philosophical here, but if it's coming at the content if it's coming at the cost of your social life and all that kind of stuff, and you don't have any monetary gain at the end of this or whatever it is, I think, just consider the impact it can also have on other people. Although I am very, 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 very much an advocate of people challenging themselves and doing hard things regularly and all that kind of stuff. Whether you're an athlete or not, go for it. Definitely give it a try. Just keep in mind the impact it can have on other people. So, and then in saying that, which is why when I go in race prep or whatever, I'm not in prep all year round, okay? I train hard all year round, but there are periods of time when I train harder, i.e. right now, I am in race prep because I have a couple races coming up. I'm basically, right now I would say I pretty much don't have a social life. And I do that because I just focus on training, I focus on my diet, I just really lock in. For me, I'm probably a little bit of, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a tism going on there. No offense to anyone with tisms. Probably a little bit of a tism going on there when I get hyperfixated on things, which means that I can't, go out and socialize and have dinner and stuff comfortably, knowing that I have to then go and train hard the next day. So I prefer to just not see anyone for the period of time that I'm training for the events that I have. And then when it's done, shackles are off. Yo, who wants to hang out? So when I'm in season, I'm a little bit of antisocial. When I'm in the off season, yeah, who wants to hang out? I'll have a late night. I don't care. But when I'm really locked in, I'm locked in. And then when I'm not, I'm not. Okay, so that's the way it works for me. Might not work for everyone. And I understand that can be unrealistic for people with kids and parents and, people that are running whatever different job situations they're in and all that kind of stuff. But it works for me. And it works for my partner as well, I think. Thank you, Jess, for being supportive. Anyway, so I think the main thing is like you want to try and find a balance in everything and then set realistic expectations based off what you're trying to achieve, how much time you have and all that kind of stuff. If you're giving yourself 6 months to train for a marathon, sweet, you should be all right. Like you can still have a bit of a social life and do all those other things in the lead up to that event, or, your powerlifting comp's 6 months away. You can have, 3 months of chilling and doing whatever you want, and then just lock in, when you're a few weeks out, just focus really hard on just getting this thing done. You're probably going to be super tired anyway, so you're not going to have much energy for anything else. And when it's all done, you'll feel that much better for it. But just set realistic expectations about the amount of work you're putting in and what result you want to achieve, and then also the impact it can have on others as well and the people around you. Now, next thing I want to chat about is just example strength goals for runners and lifters and those that are trying to do both. Okay, so some example strength goals. I think strength goals for runners, okay, you want to be able to, I think these are awesome strength goals, by the way. Not everyone has to achieve them, but if you could do these, sick. Bulgarian squat, which is a single leg squat, your body weight. If you're a runner, bench pressing your body weight, ideally more as well. Try banging out at least 10 pull-ups. Deadlift and squat 2 times your body weight. For most lifters, they don't sound like that big a deal. If you're coming from a lifting background, you're probably like, oh, all that stuff's easy. But if this is for someone that's maybe just come from a running background and hasn't done much strength training, those are some Great little strength standard to try and achieve in your first year or year and a half of training, and they're very doable. They're very manageable. Then if you're a runner, and then if you're a lifter, I think try to aim for that sub 6 minute, that sub 60 minute 10k or a sub 30 minute 5k. If you want to be a real G, go for a sub 50 minute 10k or in a sub 25 minute 5k. And if you want to be even more of a G, maybe even I dare say advanced athlete, sub 40 minute 10k, sub 20 minute 5k. And if you're a lifter who is strong as fuck, and I would say absolutely god tier, okay, running a sub 39 minute 10k, like even closer to 35 minutes which is like 3:30 pace, fucking unreal. If you're strong as well, that is fucking unreal. And a sub 18 minute 5k, if you're someone that is strong, is also phenomenal. There will be very few of you in the world that can do that. I can't. So yeah, whoever those people are, hats off to you if you're strong at the same time. I'm aiming for those things though, and I hope many of the people listening to this are as well, whether you're a runner or lifter, regardless of your level. Aim for as high as you can, and if you don't reach it, at worst you fall a little bit short of that, which will still be crazy good. Anyway, that's another podcast done. I went over a few different things, strength standards, and also just setting some realistic expectations around training and all that kind of stuff as a hybrid athlete. As always, if you want help with your hybrid training, Lift Heavy Run Fast programs are available on my Shopify store. Click the link in my bio and you'll be able to go straight to it. One-time purchase, and 3 months of your programming is done with guaranteed results. If you want something a little bit more hands-on, and if you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis, okay, I help people around the world improve their running, lifting, as well as managing the injury problems that come along with that. So if you need a little bit more hands-on help and guidance, contact me for online coaching. Reach out to me via my website or just shoot me a DM on any of my social media platforms, and I'll do the rest. As always, thank you for listening to, I think that was episode 6 of the Lift Heavy Run Fast podcast. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.